So we'll continue on with our theme for the year, a day at a time, oneness. And our theme for the month of October is giving. And I want to start us out this morning, as I have been for the last several weeks now, by dropping into our hearts, moving into a moment of gratitude. Because gratitude opens us up. It opens us up to the eternal. It opens us up to the infinite. Gratitude, it opens us up to new ideas. So I'm going to ask you to drop into your heart. And what I simply mean is, if you're comfortable enough, you can put your hand on your heart, but certainly put your attention on your heart. So drop into your heart. Put your attention on your heart. And this morning, our move then to drop into a deeper state of gratitude is, I'd like for you to identify or to think about a part of your body that brings you great joy and freedom. That if that part of your body was no longer there, you'd miss it. Whatever it is. A deep sense of gratitude in your heart. Become very grateful for it. Very grateful, perhaps, for your eyes, your ears, your arms, your fingers, your lips, perhaps. It's your legs and your feet. So grateful for. Allow yourself to drop deeper into your heart. Feeling a deep, deep sense of gratitude and love. For your legs, your eyes, whatever it is for you. A deep sense of gratitude. Allow yourself to feel this gratitude in your heart. Allow yourself to become so familiar with what it feels like, what a deep sense of gratitude feels like. Feel it. Become familiar with it. This deep sense of love and gratitude in your heart. Feel it and stay aware of it. Bless it, that body part. Give thanks for it. And slowly then, begin to bring your awareness back. Slowly bring your awareness back. So, our theme for the month, giving. And a few spiritual principles this morning to get us anchored into our message, or to help get us anchored into our message. I'm reading from Ernest Holmes and what we believe we've titled them Spiritual Principles, and you can get a copy of this if you go to our website, or if you receive you're on our mailing list, or you can do a search for Ernest Holmes and what we believe as well. But this morning we're working with spiritual principle number 1, and it reads, we believe in God, the living spirit, almighty one, indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. We believe this one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. We believe the manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. And spiritual principle number 2, we believe in the individualization of the Spirit in us, and that all people are individualizations of the one Spirit. Spiritual principle number 10, we believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givenness of life to all. And finally, spiritual principle number 5, we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete freedom from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. So this month is the month that we talk about abundance, to include money. We're talking about all forms of abundance, and it includes money. And last week I said that if you have a problem with abundance in your life, that you're the only one who can fix it. If you have a problem with abundance in your life, you're the only one who can fix it, which assumes that it can be fixed. Now we can get to a place within us then where the problem, as Dr. Joe Dispenza might say, no longer exists. If you got a problem, you can get to a space within yourself where the problem no longer exists. And so if you have a problem with abundance, only you can fix it. Only you can fix it. Ernest Holmes expresses it something like this. He says, seek an inner awareness of something greater than we are, something so complete that we can find completion in it. This something is so vast that we anticipate exploring its nature through endless eternities. It's so complete that we find completion in it. Forever and ever and ever, where the problem no longer exists. So, in Ernest Holmes' book, This Thing Called Life, I wanted to read you a little something from here. I'm reading on page 114 in my copy of the book. In it, he says, how necessary it is not to attach our problems to the divine mind, but to unite the divine mind with the answer to the problem, for there is a vast difference. Principles have no problems. Therefore, in a sense, we subject our finite problems to the infinite intelligence, which automatically solves them through our recognition and acceptance that they are being solved. In actual practice, he says, this means that we rearrange our thinking in such a way that we permit new ideas to flow in. The ideas, fears, and tensions that obstructed this flow are released. The stream flows free again. It is in this sense that God is the answer to every human problem. He says, don't take your problem to God. Don't take your problem to the divine mind. Unite with it so that you become more of it. It's not necessary that we do it the other way, but that we understand the principles and start to operate completely and fully in the principles, that we unite with it, that we unite with the infinite, that we unite and allow its new ideas to flow in. Because new ideas, they unblock the obstructions of our old ideas. It takes a new idea to move an old idea, in other words, out of the way. New ideas bring forth new experiences. And that's our goal. Our goal is new ideas and new experiences. Our goal is to get to a place where the problem no longer exists. That's our goal. That's what we are shooting for. When we can get ourselves to a space and a place where the problem no longer exists, there is where you find joy. God, there is where you find freedom. The problem no longer exists. The money problem, it no longer exists. The health problem, it no longer exists. The relationship problem, it no longer exists. There, only there, is where you'll find joy and freedom. If you want to be about this life, you got to get okay with feeling joyous and free. You do. So, a lot of times, the writings by Ernest Holmes and some other people in this teaching, they can be very heady. And it keeps us in our mind. It keeps us dealing with our minds. And so, our minds is in the business of trying to understand. And our mind is in the business of trying to figure things out. That's what our mind is doing. It's always up to something. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes then I can see people in their minds when I'm talking about the principles. People be like, right? Be like, be like, the principle now, when she talking about the principle, what part of the principle is she talking about? And which part of my life exactly does the principle apply to? And when she said that, she didn't mean that, did she? When she said about the principles, yeah, the principles apply to all areas. All areas of your life. The principles don't have problems. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. Sometimes you be like, oh, well, Jackson, what part of judge not is she talking about? This what part of forgiveness? She can't be talking about forgiveness over there. She can't be talking about that. Just what part? And how does it apply to my life? What part of giving is she talking about? And what part of my life does it apply to? The principles don't have problems. The principles apply to all. Let me clear it up. The principles apply to all areas of your life. And the thing is that when I talk about abundance or talking about giving, some people might feel that they are abundant in one area of their life. So if I'm talking about abundance of money, some people might be like, oh, I'm good. I'm real abundant with that. And it's not that I'm talking about the thing. I'm not talking about the money. I'm talking about the principle in the money, right? Because the principle remains the same. And if you have become abundant with money, then you ought to be able to become abundant with love. You understand the principle is what I'm trying to say. But if you don't understand the principle, you can have a whole lot of money and don't understand the principle. Y'all with me? Our job is to understand the principle so that we can whip the principle out whenever we need to whip the principle out. When you need love, you want to be able to understand how to get love. When you want to be in a place of joy and freedom, you want to understand how to get there. Y'all with me this morning? So you can have a whole lot of money and not understand the principle. So I like it when the principle is plain and simple. That's me. I like it like that. So this morning, I got a principle that I got from Les Brown. Y'all know Les Brown, the author, the motivational speaker. Here's what he says about abundance. He says, become abundant or stay broke. Become abundant or stay broke. And abundance means that you're able to do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. And if something is obstructing you from being able to do whatever you want to do when you want to do it in that area, you're not abundant yet. Become abundant, stay broke. Become whole or stay separate. Become the light or stay dark. Become faithful, stay fearful. Become joyful or stay sad. Become joyful or stay mad. Become love or stay experiencing less love or stay experiencing something other than love. Plain and simple. Take a chance on life, open up to life, or stay complacent. Become abundant or stay broke. It's plain. That's simple. You got it? I got it. So that means then if we have old ideas about abundance, then we have to open up to the new ideas about abundance. And this new idea that we're opening up to, these ideas got to be dynamic ideas because they got to wipe out all of the old ideas. A little bit from The Power of Decision by Raymond Charles Barker. I'm reading from page 25, 47, 48, and 49. Some people like all that information, which is why I do it, in case you're wondering why I say all that. On page 25, Raymond Charles Barker, he says this. He says that ideas are fascinating, and fascinating ideas should not be based on past experience. It is a future idea to be thought in the now. It should be one that will make you happier, healthier, more prosperous, more loving, and less frustrated. This idea is already within your mind, waiting for you to awaken to it, to grasp it, and think it. It's not based on things which have gone before. It causes fresh and exciting new aspects to develop in your life. It invites your consideration to grow in consciousness by experiencing something new, something greater than has ever happened to you. He says the infinite mind invites you to become a new person and to have a new experience. And in his reading titled Original Ideas, he says that original ideas, they are born in the infinite mind and are reborn in your consciousness without the aid of any other person. They just happen in you when you have consciously or subconsciously prepared the consciousness in which they could happen. These ideas are completely pure. As yet, they have not been adulterated by doubt or material speculation as how, why, or when. The person who can recognize their purity and watch their thought to maintain this purity can then arrive at an acceptance of them, decide upon them, and experience their extension in the world of form. He says, you take original ideas and place them in limits. You hope they are so, rather than knowing they are so. Every idea in your consciousness has possibilities that can be explored. Old ideas seen from a new angle reveal new possibilities. He says, ideas never get stale. People, they get stale. Ideas are eternal, and their possibilities are infinite. Finally, he says ideas. They are food for the mind and substance for the emotion. New ideas. You want to have a new experience with abundance? You need to have new ideas. So let us open up then to new ideas. The reading suggests that ideas don't get stale, but you do. People do. So we need to unstale ourselves, I guess. Ideas are eternal, infinite possibilities. The new idea that's in you right now, it's infinite. It's loaded with infinite possibilities. You understand what I'm saying? Your new idea of God, your new idea of love, your new idea of joy, your new idea of peace, it's loaded with infinite possibilities. For you, it's your idea, he said. It's not my idea, it's your idea. You have to own it. Your new idea. It's food for the mind and substance for our emotions, new ideas of abundance. There's two sides to abundance. There's the receiving, and we talked about receiving last month, and there's giving. And we're talking about giving this month. So let us consider then that receiving makes things better. And giving makes you better. There's the distinction. Receiving makes things better. Giving makes you better. Giving is transformative. It transforms you. And our call to action this month with our theme, giving, is to decide to give. I mean, we're always giving consciously and unconsciously, so we have to decide to give consciously and intentionally. And let me just say this. Deciding to give might be the hardest thing that you have to decide to do. And deciding to give is the best decision that we can make. It might be the hardest decision, but it's the best decision because giving transforms you. Receiving makes things better. Giving makes you better. Decision, Raymond Charles Barker says, is the most important function of the human mind. So we've got some things to decide. We've got to decide whether or not we're going to be conscious and intentional about our giving. And when we make a decision to give, there can be no hesitation in our giving. Your indecision is not profitable, in other words. So you have to decide to give. If you don't decide to give, you profit nothing. Your indecision, it gets in the way. If you're hesitant in it, then it gets in the way of your demonstration. If you don't decide to give, it gets in the way of your demonstration. You understand what I'm saying? It's not profitable. It gets in the way of you being able to demonstrate. And one final kind of reading here in this thing called Life, Ernest Holmes, on page 115, it reads, Emerson tells us that we must beware lest we hold too much good in our hands. We must scatter it, he says, on every wind of heaven. Whitman says, the gift is most to the giver and comes back most to him. Jesus proclaimed, give and it shall be given unto you. Ernest Holmes says, it is the nature of life that the more widely we use it, the more of it is delivered into our keeping for use. Every time we use the law of life in a constructive manner, we widen our channels of self-expression. They become broader and they become deeper. Denying the law of life temporarily blocks its flow through us. Spiritual faith opens up the use of this law as no other mental attitude can. Therefore, the thing to do is to live in conscious and enthusiastic recognition of life, to live in faith. The more it is this nature of life that the more widely we use it, the more of it is delivered into our keeping for our use. This giving then that is connected to, in another reading, Ernest Holmes calls it the divine givingness. So, but this givingness then that I'm talking about, it's not a giving where you have a checklist that you're keeping, right? I gave this, and I should get this back. I gave that, and I should get this back, kind of reciprocity. I'm talking about a giving that transcends reciprocity. It's not looking for anything back. Y'all understand what I'm saying? A giving that I'm talking about is not a giving that you where you've given something and you're going to hold it over somebody's head, right? I'm not talking about that kind of giving. Not a giving that necessarily means that your getting back is going to be in like kind. I'm not talking about that kind of giving. I'm talking about a dynamic kind of giving, a kind of giving where I like to use Seth Godin's definition of it. He says, true giving, it has this emotional labor tied to it. Emotions is involved in it, so that our giving, the sole intent is to make things better for someone else. Giving is transformative. It changes you. If that's the sole intent of giving, then we're going to have to search ourselves to discover what you're giving and why you're giving it and how you're giving it. You got to search yourself for the best. You know what I'm saying? To give the best. I love peanut butter. And I love peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. And if I ask you to make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and that thing ain't right, it's got too much jelly. The peanut butter ain't spread just right. Don't be giving it. Don't be giving it to me. I don't want it. I don't want it. The sole intent is to make things better. The sole intent is to make things better for someone else. The type of giving that I'm talking about, it requires that we have a trusting heart and that we have trust in our heart. This is the type of giving that I'm talking about. I had shared with you all several weeks now about the retreat. I'm still talking about the retreat with Joe Dispenza, but there was a part of the retreat where we went in. I think I told you all they had some healing, some automatic healing going on. They called it coherent healing, where people would be laying down and there'd be people surrounding them, kind of like the chamber prayer that we do. And these people were intent on getting healed. They came to the retreat so that they could get healed. There was probably about 200 of them, and then there was the other 1,600 people there who were surrounding these people for the healing to take place, right? And there were children there, there was babies there, there was people whose baby couldn't be there. They would have their picture, and they would have their picture in the middle of the circle so that we could give. It's for someone else. This is the giving that I'm talking about. So before we would walk in to give, we'd be outside. The doors would be closed. And there would be an opportunity for us to do what? Drop into our hearts. Find the love in our hearts. Some emotional labor involved. So that our giving in that moment, its sole intent was for somebody else. You got to have a trusting heart, and you got to have trust in your heart for this kind of giving. So Ernest Holmes says that giving is an expression of abundant living. So in order that we don't have a problem with abundance, we give, as Reverend Sheila reminded many of us, that we give from the overflow. We give from the overflow. When you give from the overflow, there's nothing attached to it. It's the overflow. You joyously give. You joyously share from the overflow. When love is overflowing, you give from the overflow. But in order to get to the overflow, you got to get to a place where it's overflowing. You got to get to that place in you where new ideas are overflowing. When you can get to a space in a place where it's overflowing, where the problem no longer exists, same place in the overflow where there's no problem, and when you can get there, again, that's where you find joy, and that's where you find peace, and that's why you find pureness, as the reading suggested. You are attached to the pureness of the thing. That's where you find pure love and plenty. The overflow in it then, or what we obtain from the overflow, or where the overflow stems from, is pure love. It's pure love. Pure love generates overflow. Pure love generates overflow. Pure love. The overflow is a derivative of pure love. So if you want to be abundant in any area of your life, you got to find pure love in you. So that your giving then becomes pure. Nothing attached to it. Not even a degree of expectancy that it will come back, although it will come back 10 times fold. But my intention for giving is not to get it back. You got to get to where pure love is and where plenty is, where the ideas are pure and where the ideas are plenty. You got to get to a place where our decisions to give, to be abundant, is pure and plentiful. If you don't have any new ideas around the areas in your life that's keeping you from doing what you want to do when you want to do it, then get into a flow of pure love and plenty. If there's something that you want to give that you ain't given, get into a flow of pure love and plenty. Get to some place where there's no more problems. Get into the principle. Get into a place where the problem no longer exists. I ain't got no problem giving money. Problem no longer exists. I ain't got no problem giving love. The problem no longer exists. Get there so that our giving can be pure. Nothing attached to it. When you can get to that place, then you give whatever it is that you got to give. Whatever it is, give it. Joyously and plentifully give it, knowing that it's enough. Ain't nobody telling you how to give and how much to give, but when you come in from a place of pure love and you in an overflow, you got plenty to give. Give what you got to give from that place. Come to understand that the more you give, then the more you realize you have something to give. Deciding to give. Deciding to give, it might be the hardest decision that we have to make. Deciding to give forgiveness, deciding to give and to allow patience to be an expression of my giving, to allow joy to be an expression of my giving, to allow understanding to be an expression of my giving, to allow peace to be an expression of my giving. It might be the hardest decision we have to make to give, but it's the best It is the best decision that we can make. Because when we can get to that place, it's the divine is flowing, and it's flowing infinitely. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. And when love comes in, it brings its friends with it. It brings joy with it. Oh, it brings peace with it. Y'all with me? Giving. Al, let us move into a time of practice then this morning. We moved into practicing, and our prayer is certainly an extension of our practice this morning. But again, I want to just ask you to drop into your heart. Put your hand on your heart. If you move to put your hand on your heart, don't let your body talk you out of it. Turn your attention to your heart. And the familiar feeling of deep gratitude that we experienced earlier at the beginning of the message. Find it in you. This deep gratitude. Feel it. Open up to this gratitude. Open up to this love in your heart. And feel it. And let us open up to the new idea. To new ideas flowing through us now. A new idea of pure love. That propels us into the overflow. A new idea of love that moves us in a place in consciousness where our problems with abundance no longer exists. Where any problem that we might have with receiving and giving, it no longer exists. Find this pure love in your heart. Find it. There's joy there. There's freedom there. Find it. The pure love in your heart. Feel it. Everything is overflowing there. Feel it. It's pure love in your heart. Find it. Feel it. Become aware of it. in you. This pure love in your trusting heart. Feel it. It's propelling you to a place where the problem of giving no longer exists. Find it. Feel it. Stay aware of it. This pure love in your heart. It's for your heart. And may all of our giving stem from a place of pure love in our hearts. Slowly, slowly begin to bring your attention and your awareness back. Bringing this pure love back. Feeling it and becoming so familiar with it. Bringing your awareness back. And so it is. Journey on throughout our week. Let me remind you that deciding to give might be the hardest decision that we might have to make. And it is the best decision that we can make. Decide to become abundant, stay broke. Decide to give, or stay broke. And so it is.